This video I introduce one of the latest AI code editor called Kusa. So it's an AI tool, a code editor that helps you to make your code more productive, and it is one of the best way to code with artificial intelligence. So if you're an experienced programmer, this is actually one of the tools for you. Don't be late to the party, join the trend. So I'm going to be showing you how I created this simple page in few minutes and just with some few lines of code where you can select your feelings, how you're feeling that day. So you're energetic, and then you click on get recipe and it gives you what kind of recipe you should take. So if you don't like that, you can say try another recipe. All this I created in few minutes, and it has a filter, everything you need a front-end designer to do in few minutes. So you can do this. You also have a login, just to give you an idea of how to use this app to build this in just few minutes. And of course, if you look at this page, this was simply created just by uploading the image. Okay, so I had an image, so I got this image online and I told it, hey, create me something similar. So this is very few things you can do with Kusa AI. So if you want to know more on how I did this, just look at this video and then it will give you more ideas on how to use it or tailor it with your need. And of course, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. I'm looking forward to 1,000 subscribers, so kindly hit the subscribe button and hit on like. These videos takes time to make and it will encourage me a lot to make more of these videos. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the AI code editor, Kusa. So many persons call it Kusa AI. So if you're a developer out there, don't be late to the party. I'm going to be telling you and letting you know about the Kusa AI. So what is Kusa AI? So Kusa AI is an AI powered code editor that enhances your productivity, and I'm going to show you what it does and how you can use it to become very productive when you're writing code as a developer. And also, if you're a learner and want to learn how to code along with this, but I would not recommend it for learners, but you will enjoy it better if you already know how to code, because most times some things doesn't work and you need to debug. So the first thing you need to do is head over to kusa.com and download this. So for Windows, you click on download, and if you are using Chrome, the download button might not work, so you can use another browser. So when you open this with Edge and you hit on download, so you see that it works for Edge. You click on this download, and then when you download it, after you're finished downloading, you install it. So after installation, you just go over and open the software. So first and foremost, we need to create a simple project. So it's always recommended that you have a folder for the project. So I've created a project called Kusa Demo. So since this is not my first time of installing, the first time you install it is a different interface, but it's basically the same thing. So after installation, you open the software and then you open the folder. So I'm going to open the Kusa Demo folder. So select folder and then we open this folder. After you're finished installing, this is what I call onboarding. It will click mark that you're finished doing the onboarding, setting up your installation account, and then there are 4 things we can do or you can do with Kusa AI. The first thing is that it helps you to auto-complete code snippets. So for instance, if you have a function you want to create, it helps you to automatically create this. We'll see an example shortly. And then to prompt and edit, so it means you have a code and then you highlight on the code and then you right click and said it makes corrections to a particular segment of your code. So this is different from ChatGPT in the sense that you don't need to be going forth and back, making copy and paste. So you have all your code base in the system, so you could edit your codes. And then the next one is to ask a question. So you could highlight as a question, you could highlight on a part of the code and said, hey, explain this part of the code. Or you could also ask a question from a website. You can say search the web you can also say search this documentation and ask it the question you want. So this is quite interesting. And of course, you could also chat with your code base. So you could say you could upload your code base, all your docs here, and then you could begin to search for files, for functions, for variables, anything you can think about. So this is basically not for beginners as such, because as a beginner you want to know everything, and most times when you use this kind of application at the beginning it's very good, but when something breaks you don't know how to fix it. That's why this is more for developers to help you become very more productive, to get boilerplate codes very fast and very quickly. You could set up a project in just minutes. Alright, so of course we are going straight to the demo, and you have to first also check that the Composer is enabled. So you go to preferences, cursor settings, and then features. So features is this cursor tab is enabled, the cursor prediction is enabled, so this should do well, it should do quite well. Okay, so now as a hint, when working with AI to help you generate code, you have to make a plan, because Cursor AI, like every other type of AI, it works best with small tasks, okay, very specific information rather than broad, vague commands. For example, you said, hey, build me a website. So instead of these, you need to break down the task. So like for instance, create a navigation bar, or even if you are starting from scratch, you could give it everything you need. You could tell it what language to use. You could also tell it the colors to use for front-end development, and so many things. You could tell it the back end to use, and this is quite interesting for boilerplates and also to help you edit your code. And of course, always make a plan. Okay, and of course, if you don't also know what to use, the ask a question feature, you can also use it to know, okay, hey, I want to build a recipe website, I want to build something, but I'm not quite sure which tag to use. Can you recommend me which tag to use? And it will give you the answers you need. So let's go and look at the first feature is the Composer features. This helps you to create boilerplate code or even solve coding problems. So to open the Composer, you could click on Ctrl I for Windows users, or Command plus I on Mac operating system. Okay, so what do we do with this Composer? So this Composer is when you want to start a totally new program from scratch. You want to tell it to give you some boilerplates, you want to build something. Okay, so I'm going to give it a prompt here. Okay, so I'm going to, even this project I'm giving you in this demonstration now, I'm doing it on the fly. I've not done it before, so I can say please generate, okay, I think I can just generate a mood based recipe recommendation app. Okay, so I want a user to select their mood and then get a recipe based. So I want to create a mood based recipe recommendation app. So I want the user to select their mood and then get a recipe based on the mood showed to them. So okay, and then further thing that they should do, I'm gonna paste this. Okay, so they should be able to request a new recipe if they don't like that one. Okay, so I can also say that I want to make this as simple as possible. Then so I'm gonna just tell it to please use HTML, JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript, so that I don't need to install dependencies. Vanilla JavaScript, and maybe let's add Tailwind CSS. And then of course this is very it's a little bit vague, but I just want to emphasize the fact that you can create a boilerplate. So if you are satisfied, you can add more context and then click on submit and watch the magic happen. and so it starts to generate the code. Okay, so we are using Tailwind CSS, so it generated us the index.html file and then the scripts.js file. So if I minimize this, so we could see that it created all the functions that we need, all the methods that we need, the DOM manipulation, and then if you also check the index.html file. So this is one way to use the composer. And if you need to create a new query, you need to create something additional, and you don't want to list this, you can go to this plus sign, you can say a new composer, but you don't need to create a new composer because we have not yet accepted the old one. So you need to check if these things are okay with you, then you click on accept all. So I can click on accept all, and then your code is set. You can go through it when you're happy. So let's see if we can view this on the server or open it by Chrome. So let's see, index, open HTML, open with Google Chrome, and this is the output that we got. How are you feeling today? Happy? Okay, so I select my mood. I'm energetic, so get recipe, and it's very responsive. It's very responsive. You could check it. This will take you, of course, more than 5 minutes that we just used to do this if you were to program it from scratch, and you could see responsiveness on top notch, so it's very responsive. Okay, now if we go back to the code, or rather, because now if I select this and get recipe, this is not working. And why is this not working? So it is simply because when we go to our index.html file, there is nowhere where we linked the JavaScript file to this, and this is why it is important that you know how to code. So if you are new to programming, go to my JavaScript series and begin from there. Or you could also watch programming channels like Tech with Tim. You could look at channels like Tim Corey and many of them to learn programming, Code with Mosh or Program with Mosh. So yeah, so then we need to insert the script. Of course, if you don't know how to do this, you can use the ask a question. Okay, so assuming I don't know what to do, let's see. So let me ask this question. I know what to do. We need to add the script to the HTML file so that the JavaScript can work. But let's see if we can ask this guy the question and see. So use one of the feature, ask a question. So to ask a question, use the chat feature, which is this. So here I'm using index, so I can say in the index.html file, I have a JavaScript. Okay, I have a script.js file, but the get recipe button does not respond. How to solve this? Okay, let's be polite and add please. Then you enter. Okay, so you see, I already knew the solution. Of course, if you don't know, you can ask, but if you know, it makes the work faster for you. And I guess it also knew how to give me the answer because I indicated I have this script.js file. So say to troubleshoot this issue with get receipt button not responding, you need to ensure that the JavaScript file is correctly linked to your HTML, and we do not have it. So it will say update index.html file to include the script. So that means this has to be there, and he gave example of where. So you can also look out for the more explanation. So if I'm satisfied with this, I could say apply. So it applies here, and then let's go back to the site again and see what happens. So I'm happy, get recipe. I need to refresh. Happy, get recipe. It's okay. Recommended recipe: colorful summer salad, a bright and refreshing salad with mixed berry. Yippee! That is so simple to make, and then you can make, for new beginners, you can make thousands of simple projects and upload. So okay, try another recipe. You see, if you click on try another recipe, it gives you another combination of recipes. So this is quite interesting. So if you're a senior developer out there, come on, this is a tool that you need to increase your productivity. Of course, this is not you have a free version and a paid version. So if you are doing it for hobby, you can use the free version, of course. And if you are employed, why not give it a shot? It's $20 dollars or euros per month. That was quite interesting. So we just built an app in less than 5 minutes or so. Let's say we want to prompt an edit, which is one of the features. So what that means is you could, so let's say this is stressed, happy, and I can highlight this. So if you highlight this, you have two options, to chat or to edit. So let's click on the edit. What do we have? So editing instruction. So edit means that, oh, you notice some things were wrong here and you want it to adjust. You could also select the AI you want to use, whether it's GPT or Cloudie. So these are what you can choose. So edit, you can add your editing instruction. Hey, I don't want this here, I don't want that here. Then we can also use the chat. So when you highlight the portion of text, so let me use the chat, and I want it to add more moods. So I can say, please add more moods. Okay, so let's apply and see. Okay, so when you apply this, you see that anxious, excited, relaxed, and angry have been added, and ask follow up. So I can also say, can you please update the JavaScript to reflect the new changes? So you see that anxious, excited, bored, relaxed, angry, they'll be added. So you can just say, click on apply. When you're satisfied with it, you click on apply and it automatically adds. So when you apply, it just goes to the file and adds it. It's not like GPT where you need to copy and paste. Is it not interesting? Quite interesting for me, if I must say. Alright, so another feature you can use is the last one, chat with your code base. Okay, so when you go to the chat option, if you look at here, you can select code base. So if you click on art symbol, you could see different things that you want the AI to query. So you want to ask some questions from a particular folders, or you want it to read some documentations using the docs. You need a link to a docs, say, oh, read these docs, and from these docs let's build something. So you give it the link, it reads it ahead and gives you. So this is very effective in making your code to be perfect. Load your code base here and then begin to understand the code base. You say, oh, where can I find it? So if you click on code base, you select the files to exclude, files to include, and then you give it prompts and say, oh, I'm looking for something in this code base, and can you give me where to find this function, or what does this function do, or how can I adjust it? So this is very cool. This is a game changer for me, I guess. So try this out, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. Currently I have 161 subscribers, so please, it takes time to make these videos. Encourage me by hitting on the like button and subscribing to this video. Thank you so much. And also, if you are learning how to code beginner level, you don't know where to start, you want to build a project, you don't know where to start, you have been in tutorial hell for so long, now this video is the right video for you. So let's say we have this login form you want to create, but you found this login form from the internet, or your UX UI designer gave you to make. So yeah, why not? You can upload this and tell this guy to make exactly the same thing. So how do you do it? You go to, so let's clean the code base, right? And can say new chat. So we could close the script entirely, and then this is your image upload. I want to upload the image, is a login image, and then I will say create a page called login.html with this exact design and color. Of course, let it be responsive. We can say use Tailwind CSS. Let's say then let's say create a navigation bar to link to index.html page. Of course, I'm writing this because I already know what I want to do, right? So I'm just writing it to help me better. Of course, if you're also a beginner, you don't know what to do, you can write it, and that means it takes more prompts for you to give the AI to generate code for you. So when you are okay with it, you click on submit, and let's see the magic happen. So it has created it for us, and okay, it didn't for some reason. Okay, we're supposed to create a new composer, so that means we create a new composer. So in this new composer, so each time you want to modify the code, you create a new point. You can't just continue everything on one single chart. So that's a learning curve also. So I copied the same statement, and yeah, no, that's not what I want. So let's upload the image one more time. So I paste my prompt, so let's click on submit. So it's generating the code, voila, and the magic is done. Okay, so we can see here login.html, and if you go through the code, you can click on login.html. You go through the code. Of course, when people use this guide, they don't go through the code because they just assume everything is fine. So but just go through the code, and for demo purpose, I will not go through the code. Then just click on accept all, and it's done. So if we go to our page, okay, you can add navigation on this part also, and so let's open the login script, voila, and you got this mood food home page. Oh my god, I'm so enjoying this right now. I just built a front-end app in minutes. Okay, so let's compare this with the image that we wanted to have, and it's very responsive, isn't it? So this is what we wanted on the left. So on the left, this is the image that we gave it so to generate, and on the right is the image from Kusa AI. So it's very the same. It created my own footer for me, and oh, this is so cool. The button is shorter, this is longer, so you could adjust it. Then you have to understand the code. So now we created an app. You can click on home, it takes us back to the Mood app. So you can adjust this by putting some navigation here, and then you could enter username, password, login. Of course, this is more functionalities that you can build on it. So this is quite interesting, right? This is quite interesting. So Kusa AI is one of the AI tools that can help you boost your productivity level. So please kindly subscribe to this channel. I actually wanted to make it as an introductory video, but yeah, let's make it complete. If you want to create a new file or a new folder, you go to Composer, create a new composer. If you want to edit a particular file, go to the chat. So when we go to the composer, Kusa new composer, login.html. I want the composer to be in HTML, index.html. So index.html, right? So I can just paste it here. Please add navigation menu to submit. So we could see that it has added some navigation. Yeah, so if you are satisfied with what it gave you, I've made the following: added a logo. It added a logo and a brand name, navigation links to home, recipe, about us, sign up button with gradient background, cool. Enhance the overall styling, and then really cool the color scheme. So if you are satisfied with what it gave you, you can have time to read it, and then you click on accept. So when we accept it, it is stored in, and so let's go to our page and see what we have. Voila! When we refreshed, we got this. Something missing. I need a footer. Okay, so we have home, recipe, about, login, sign up, and the mood, get recipe. Home is here. We need to create a page for recipe, about, login. So login takes us to the login page. You could adjust the color so that everything matches, and you see sign up page, you need to also sign up. Cool, right? Get recipe, select get recipe. Okay, the new page that we created doesn't have a link to our JavaScript file, so you could do that. Yeah, so that would be, yeah, it gives you auto completion. So accept a tab, so you could see now I need to add the link to JavaScript here. Just tap and that's done. Control S. So this works again. I'm in ejective, get recipe. Okay, I need to refresh. I'm energetic, get recipe, it gives you the recipe. If you are not happy with this, you can try again. And I think we should add a footer, right? So this, actually I wanted to make this a 10 minutes video, but I kind of like what I'm seeing. So let's see, create, I can say please new composer, please add a footer, right? A footer with all details that a footer needs. Okay, so we click on submit and let's see what we get. Yeah, and of course some of these prompts you can actually do it in one prompt. You could say add navigation, create this, and then add a footer, so that you don't need to be going back and forth. So you could see here that to add a footer you can do this. So you go to the footer and you like it, you click on apply, and so it adds the footer to our code. It adds it to that specific place that you need it. And if you go to our page and we refresh, okay, I did not click accept, so yeah, need to click on accept. And let's see again, refresh. Yeah, the footer is not all the way down to the bottom of the page. So yeah, this is where your design skills need to come to debug and then shift it further. So let's not take too much time with this video. Now of course it's not perfect, so you need to debug to adjust this down. But you could see that you made this in very few minutes. And yeah, you can continue from here. So if you are building a project from scratch, it helps you with the boilerplate, right? So don't just copy and paste all the code without reading through it, so that when a bug like this happens, you could easily be able to debug it. So don't forget to subscribe. Please kindly subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video.